Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phoenix Raceway for round number 3 of the Racers Elite Premier Series right here on the Racers Elite Network, which is powered by iRacing. I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth alongside me. I got the man of chaos who knows exactly where the chaos is about to happen, Dakota LaRue. Dakota, it has been a very interesting start to the season for these drivers. And today, here at Phoenix, it should absolutely be no different as these drivers take to this 1 mile track for 156 laps. What are your thoughts about, this track, and what are we anticipating to see today?
Well, Phoenix being a track where it's going to be very key to save your tires because it's very easy to overdrive the car and burn the right front up here at this track. So I'm expecting a lot of easy driving early, potentially trying to fill out the car to see what they can and cannot do pushing wise, and then some very hard racing towards the end of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. As we take a look here at Truth Oak in that number 55 machine. Give me one moment here, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to hijack racing for just a quick second. Okay. All right, there's your iRace. There it is right there. Beautiful. Yeah, one of the biggest things that we are absolutely going to be watching here today is these drivers going down and hitting that dog leg out of turn number 4. If you don't hit uh, that banking just right when you're coming off and coming back on, it can absolutely mean pure chaos. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to watch here. As you see, Truth Hoke putting down his lap. Brandon Puffenbarger in that number 5 machine, he is out here.
Is it just me, or is it kind of seem like some of the paint schemes aren't loading for you?
Uh,
It
maybe
might just be on my end.
it's a possibility, but it never hurts to do a really quick reload of trade and paints.
Yeah, I'm just gonna close the whole thing out and try to open it back up, see what happens here. Hmm. But yeah, to your point about the dog leg there, if you cut it the wrong way, it absolutely will drag the side skirt of the car and cause you to get loose. I've seen it happen a few times to a couple of decent drivers. So it's very very easy to do.
Yeah, definitely. So that's absolutely something that we're going to be watching here as we see Stephen Luttrell make his way around turns 1 and 2 for his first flying lap around this 1 mile desert speedway of Phoenix, Arizona. All right, so he just put down a lap time of a 26.473. He still needs to pick up 2/10 of a second in order to take over that pole position. All right, let's see what he can do here out of turn number 4. Can he better his lap time? That'll bring him up to third with the 26.343 as we have just about a minute and a half now left here in practice. And here is Alex Teft in that number 43 machine. His first lap time is going to be a 27.105. So he has almost a full second that he needs to make up here, as he's currently sitting 14th on the leaderboard. And that is going to toss him up to 12th with a 26.650. Beautiful. And before we get going here today, I'm going to go ahead and double check a couple of our notes here. Here it is right here. So, our awesome one of our awesome league owners, Andrew Teft, he just told us we are looking at just about 65 laps on fuel. So that's going to be a very interesting long ride there. You know, these drivers, they will have 4 sets of tires today for this 156 lap event. And tire management is absolutely going to be key, as these drivers are going to get ready to go down on pit road. Let's go ahead and take a look now at our starting lineup for today's event. Starting on the pole, it's going to be Troy Thomas in that number 88 machine with Andrew Teft to his outside. Row number 2, you got that number 36 of Stephen Luttrell to his outside, the 8 of Curtis Ecker. Row number 3, you got Brandon Puffenbarger in that number 5 machine with that 15 of Kensley Smith to his outside. Sam Lubers in that number 16 machine will be joined by Cody Benelli in the 19. Row number 5, David Davis will be joined by Timothy Eisburn. Row number 6, you got Truth Oak in his number 55 machine. He'll be joined by Alex Teft. Row 7, Kirby Wainscott and Jonathan Stidham. Row number 8, Eric Dodd and Brian LaPratte. Rowan Lloyd will be starting on the inside of row number 9, and he'll be joined by Robert Morris in that number 21 machine. Trevor Fetzig in the 7-11 machine will be joined by James Foster. And that's going to round out your field here at Phoenix for today's 156 lap race. So we got 20 drivers on tap, as these drivers are now going to pull away from the pit road and start making their way around this speedway.
So a couple fun facts about this track. The old configuration, the start-finish line was on the opposite side of the track. There used to actually be grass down there so you couldn't cut the bootleg, and some other fun things that Mike might know about here. You got any more for him, Mike?
Yeah, so I believe this track was actually originally created for the IndyCar series. So NASCAR was not even supposed to be racing here. So that's actually a fun little fact that I have learned, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing for the first time here today. And the green flag is out, as these drivers will hit down into that dogleg, down into turn number 1. Andrew Teft looking to quickly take over the race lead. Oh, we got trouble here in the back. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars piled up here already. Timothy Eisburn involved in this one. Trevor Fetzig looks like he's possibly involved here as well. So let's come back here, take a look, see what happened. It looks like that number 5 machine of Brandon Puffenbarger, he got sideways, and that caused everybody up behind him to check up, and just appear chaos ensued from there. The 16, he went up and got into, I believe that was the 7-Eleven of Trevor. No, was it Brian? Who did he get up into? He got up into somebody, and that just made the whole entire field just go absolutely crazy.
But I believe on a full tank of fuel you get around 65 laps. I've seen people go upwards of 70, but it's really a gamble going that far with the tires on these things, because if you blow a tire, there's a chance you're going to end up putting it in the wall, and it's really hard to limp it back to the pits.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say the average person can go about 50 to 55 laps without blowing a tire. And then if you're pretty good, you can go, I've seen 70 laps, which is a lot farther than I can go. I'm pushing it going 60, 65. This is one of my most despised tracks. I always blow a tire here. It never fails. That and Dover.
Well, this track is definitely one of the hardest tracks, that we do have on the NASCAR circuit, because of how much it eats up your tires. And I know that's one of the things that we talk about almost on a daily, well, I guess I should say weekly basis, is, you know, don't use up your tires. Well, here at Phoenix, it's a fast, flat track here in turns 1 and 2. You got a little bit of banking over in 3 and 4 that will help you, but because it's not much baking of maybe only like 12 degrees, it makes it very, very hard. As you see the pace truck pulling off here out of turn number 2, and now these drivers have to slowly make their way over to the restart zone in 3 and 4.
And keep in mind that you can't, these drivers can't drop down to the boot there before they get to the start finish line on these restarts. So, it's just in case anyone lost and curious.
And we are back, green flag racing. Troy Thomas out to a really quick start here. As you see, Stephen Luttrell and Andrew Teff duking it out for that second spot. But here comes Curtis Secker. He's looking to try to make some noise here into the top 3. But right now, Stephen Luttrell, Andrew Teff is blocking up the track, not allowing Curtis Secker to make his way around. So until these two get it sorted out, Curtis Secker, he's going to be sitting right there in that 4th spot. As you see Timothy Eisberg go way up the track there, as they will dive down back here into turns number 1 and 2, still side by side for that second spot. And right behind them, they've got Curtis Secker and Kensley Smith duking it out for that 4th spot. Andrew Teff, he will overtake second, so now here comes Curtis Secker. He's looking to the outside of Stephen Luttrell. Not able to get anything of it. Look at those drivers dive all the way down, looking to go 3 wide here in turn number 1. Not able to get it there for that Kensley Smith in that number 15 machine. He's going to have to wait and try it again at a later time. As of right now, it looks like Curtis Eckert's going to be able to hold a little bit stronger there on the outside of Stephen Luttrell, as these drivers will dive back down into that dog leg. Up here into turns 1 and 2 once again. And it looks like Stephen Luttrell, he will overtake for that 4th spot. And now Kensley Smith, he's going to try to make his way around the outside of Stephen Luttrell, not able to make anything happen just yet. It's very interesting to see these drivers running 2 different lines here through turns 3 and 4. That's definitely something I was not anticipating to see here today.
Yeah, I do know some people like to run a little bit higher there. They believe it helps them save some tire, but right now the nicest cowboy Troy Thomas is out to a decent lead over Andrew Test and done a pretty good job. This is not typically what we see out of this 88 machine. Typically starts near the rear and works his way up through the field.
Yeah, Troy Thomas, he's been on a absolute roll so far this season. He's really started to flex his muscle in that number 88 Chevrolet, and he's looking to run for a good strong championship uh, for this series here on Sundays. For their for their premiere series. So we're definitely excited to see what he can do in that number 88 machine.
Yeah, someone else that's been on a roll this season. Granted, it's been another series. Stephen Luttrell, I believe, back-to-back winner in the Wednesday series, and I believe he won Friday night, didn't he?
Yeah, he was able to snake home a win there on the final lap on Friday, getting turned at coming to the start finish line at Echo Park. So he's definitely coming off strong, for a very strong week last week. So, he's looking to keep that momentum going, and he's doing a good job right now hanging on in that fourth spot. As Curtis Eckert, we just missed him. He was able to get around Andrew Tepp for that second spot, and now he's got his eyes set on that 88 of Troy Thomas. As they make their way out of turn number 2. Let's drop back through the field here just a little bit to Timothy Eisburn and company. We've got these guys are trying to duke it out back here for right about that 10th spot as they make their way out of turn number 4 here. And it looks like this pack back here, they're not really using that dog leg except for Alex Tefton, that number 43 machine. As you see some action going on behind him between Rowan Lloyd and Brandon Puffenbarger, as they will run side by side for that 13th spot. Puffenbarger looks like he will overtake that spot. And now Cody Benelli, he may be trying to make a run here. Alex Teff taking over the spot from Jonathan Stidham there heading into turn 1. Really good tight racing back here, further back in the field, but these guys always doing what they do best. It doesn't matter what position it is, these guys always run their hardest. And that's another reason why I love Racers Elite. Way up the track goes Rowan. He thought about going on the inside of Alex. No, he will go onto the inside of Alex Teft. Barely able to get his nose there. He's down there. He's going to come down into that dog leg, use up all that track, back up, and he's going to complete the pass here into turn number 1. And now here comes Stidham on the inside of Alex Teft. Teft, he's going to go ahead and just concede to that battle right there. And Alex Teft is doing his Alex Teft things. He's not pushing whatsoever because he knows we still got a very long way to go here at Phoenix. And he's going to save his tires and he's going to re-attack when the time is right. So Alex Teft fans, don't start to freak out just yet with him falling back. Obviously, this is all by design. As you see Brandon Puffenbarger trying to work now around that outside. And he very well just may concede to him here in turns 3 and 4, which he does. And now here comes Cody Benelli as well, trying to make his run on the outside. So again, this is all by design, and this is just Alex Teft doing Alex Teft things. A really good tight racing right here between Alex Teft and Cody Benelli. Cody Benelli goes way wide in 3 and 4.
Yeah, we got another battle brewing between Brian LaPratt and Timothy Osborne up here, not far ahead of these guys that you're watching as well.
Yeah, as you take a look here at Timothy Eisburn, he's looking to try to get on the inside of Brian LaPratt in that 101 machine.
He got a pretty good look at him, but lost a little bit of momentum, so he's going to have to try to get that run built back up as these laps continue to wind down. Currently 21 out of 156 laps completed.
Yeah, definitely really great racing all around this track at the moment. Nobody's really trying to push for any momentums at the moment. And we got word we're having there's an issue with that number 9 machine of James Foster. He's pulled his car down onto pit road extremely early. So we're going to keep our eyes on James Foster and see if we can hear what's going on with him. As you see, Timothy Eisburn now completing that pass on Brian LaPratt here on the dog leg. And down into turn number 1 and 2, he will complete the pass. He goes way wide, and that's going to allow LaPratt to make his run back to his back bumper. But no, he's actually holding pretty strong so far.
The outside of 1 and 2 is actually a pretty good line to get a pretty good drive off the corner here. So it don't surprise me that we're seeing quite a bit of people kind of let the car slide up there naturally as it slows down to help it rotate on the exit and get a better drive off.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we are now 24 laps into this race, and you know these tires. You know, if you haven't been taking care of them, you know they're going to start getting cooked here. As we're going to jump up here to our race leader, Troy Thomas. He's doing a fantastic job, holding pretty steady right now in front of Curtis Ecker. He's opened up just about a second lead now.
Looks like we got another battle developing between Puffenbarger and Lubers as Lubers is trying to get to the inside of Puffenbarger. They're coming down the front stretch here. He was able to get to the inside of them, come through 1 and 2 as they are side by side, but I do believe the 5 will have better drive off coming down the back stretch. But it looks like the 5 is going to concede and let the 16 around here.
Yep. So Brandon Puffenbarger falling back to that 13th spot for the moment. As Sam Lubers in that number 16 machine, he's doing a good job so far in that number 16 Ford Mustang.
So I do believe I've been looking at the chat and I've seen that True Token, that 55 machine, is supposed to be pretty good at Phoenix. So I'm going to be trying to keep my eye on him today, as he is currently our biggest mover that is in the highest position, as well as Kirby Wayne Scott, Brian LaPratt, and Rowan Lloyd, all up 6 positions.
Yep. Yeah, Truth Hope getting passed there by David Davis. But yeah, I mean, Truth Hope, we and you're exactly right. You know, we have heard this is probably one of his best tracks. So, you know, so don't be surprised, you know, to see Truth Hope possibly running for the race win later on here today. But as of right now, he's got Kirby Wayne Scott working on the inside as he goes way up the track and had to get hard on the brake. He missed his braking point there heading into turn number 1. So Truth Hope, he might be struggling a little bit with that race car at the moment. But hopefully here, you know, at this first pit stop, they can make a couple adjustments to get that number 55 machine back into winning formation. So right now he is struggling just a bit, but hey, you know, we do have our first pit stop coming up in about 39 laps. Now my question for you is, are they actually going to try to go all the way to lap 60 before they really start making their first round of pit stops?
So the way I look at it here, you can go you're gonna have to make 2 pit stops regardless. It's all about how fresh tires you want for that last stint. So if you go 60-60, that'll be 120, which will leave about, what, 36 laps left, which is still a pretty good stint, but you'll have very optimal tires for that last run. You can push pretty hard. Or you could try pitting a little sooner and getting some, shorter pitting a little early, try to gain some time now, and then coming to that last run, you'll be out of the pits sooner, but you're gonna have to worry about holding off people on fresh tires.
That is true. Yeah, as of right,
I think the optimal is going to be 60-60, and then doing about a 36 lap stint afterwards.
yeah. And you were talking about earlier, about these drivers, um, you know, they got to pay attention to their tires. It is easy to quote unquote blow your tires here at Phoenix if you're not taking care of them. As you see Andrew Teft making his way back around Curtis Eckert, and along with Kensley Smith, he's using up that entire dog leg down there as he's looking to take over the second spot from Andrew Teft. Um, you know, a lot of people they don't really understand what that means when we say blow our tires, and because I made that comment to somebody over the weekend. Is that if you run too hard, you can blow your tire. And he was like, blow your tire? Is that even possible? It is, seeing how once your tires hit 0%, you will actually come out with our what we call the meatball flag. And that means, well, you got to come down to get repairs on your car. In this case, you blew your tire. You need to come down for tires. So that's something that these drivers are definitely going to have to watch. And, they're going to have to take really good care of their tires here today.
Not to mention, whenever you blow the tire, it does feel like all the air just escapes the tire, and you could really whip to the right, because at this track it's one of the right front most likely, and it can cause the car to jerk to the right. You can get to the wall and get even more damage. I mean, the iRacing is nice enough to let the spotter gives you, I believe, 2 to 3 warnings. So it'll be like, hey, you're using up a lot of rubber. Hey, the rubber's getting really low on the tire. Hey, you're about to be out of tire, basically. And if you hear that third warning, you better get in the pits, because as soon as you hear that third warning, it's about 1 or 2 laps you typically blow a tire.
Exactly,
and that's if it even gives you the third warning. Sometimes it don't give you the third warning. It'll give you 2, and then you're like, well, I got 1 more, and next thing you know, your tire blows.
Yeah, definitely is. We're taking a look here at our track temperature of 89 degrees. That's not necessarily too hot here at Phoenix, so so that's going to help your tires adjust a little bit as well. That track temperature makes a huge difference, and with it only being 89 degrees, that's actually really not too hot here for Phoenix. So the tires ain't going to be screaming that much.
Yeah, 89 degrees isn't too bad, but I personally do like a harder track temp at Phoenix, as I feel like it helps the car rotate a little more, just because the track's a little slicker. As long as you're hitting your braking points, obviously. With the hot track, if you're sliding the tires, it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
But I mean, so far the field kind of spread out, as we've been seeing a lot here recently on Racers Elite. Through most of the series, the field kind of gets spread out, and then once we get that first pit stop, it really gets spread out. And then we did have a caution on lap 1 relatively early, but I mean, some good green flag racing currently.
Yeah, these guys doing an absolute fantastic job. Um, just everybody's currently spread out. They're really minding their P's and Q's at the moment. As I'm not really finding too much going on at the moment. So while we're in this nice little green flag run here, let's zoom in here, take a look at some of our paint schemes as we take a look at Troy Thomas, your race leader. running that number 88. Looks like it says Thomas on the side, Austin on the rear. Andrew Teft in his McDonald's number 98 Ford Mustang. You got Kesley Smith rocking out a Red Monster Chevrolet this week. Definitely a brand new look for him. We've got Curtis Ecker rocking out that RV Rentals number 8 machine. You guys go check out Family Traditions RV Rentals based out of Pennsylvania. If you guys are doing anything with Pocono Raceway, definitely go give them a holler. They got some UVs to rental for the weekend. They'll even go out to the track, set it up for you. Kirby Wainsky, that number 10 Racers Elite Toyota Camry. You got that 777 Race Trailer Accessories.com Chevrolet of David Davis. Steven Luttrell just rocking out that plain orange number 36 machine. Truth Hoke in that U.S. Army number 55. Timothy Eisburn always rocking out that Shaco LLC number 92.
I,
Sam, oh, go ahead.
I did get word, I heard over the radio, someone has already got a tire warning. So, got about 20 more laps left on the run here, so they're going to have to be relatively easy. Or they're going to have to come in and pit a little early.
Yeah, so that's going to be absolutely huge there. So we got Sam Lubers and that number 16 Nintendo Wii machine. Wowen Lloyd, driver of that number 61 machine. Remind me to talk to Lloyd about making his number a different color so we can actually see it. But he's got a pretty cool anime looking paint scheme right there. You've got Brian LaPratte in that number 101 Ford Mustang. He's kind of reminds me of a old Mark Martin kind of style paint scheme. That number 5 Rides machine with Brandon Puffenbarger. The number 43 machine of Alex Teft. And then you got the Detroit Lions number 711 machine of Trevor Fetzig. Cody Benelli in that number 19 machine. Eric Dodd in that number 87 machine for Melon Man Racing. Runover Racing driver number 42, Jonathan Stidham, rocking the Mercatees.com Ford Mustang. Behind him, you've got Robert Morris rocking his beautiful Mercatees.com number 21. Then you got your race leader here, James Foster, in that number 9 Mercatees.com machine as well. I think we did Trevor Fetzig already. So that's just going through the field here, taking a look at all these beautiful paint schemes.
Yeah, while you were going over that, we got about, I believe, three more cars went a lap down. I'm not sure what happened to the 7-Eleven. It kind of seems like he might have came down to the pits there. James Foster down to the pits really early, down 7 laps at the moment. And then we got Morrison Stidham, who just went a lap down as we were looking at paint schemes there. If you are able to see the 88 Detroit Thomas going around them.
Yeah, so some of these drivers are starting to make their way down pit road. Brandon Puffenbarger, Trevor Fetzig, he's come down pit road already. James Foster, he's come down pit road as well. So we're already seeing some of these drivers coming down right around lap 48 to lap 52. So, now we're starting to get down to You know, when are you going to come down pit road? Because as we see, some drivers they feel that they're not going to make it. As you see, Curtis Eckert giving up that third spot to come on down pit road. And something these drivers have to watch for is not to
Yeah, with some of these guys coming down really early, they're going to do a very long run on that last stint that we do. I mean, we did, I believe, 3 to 4 laps under caution at the start of this race. So they've only ran about 48
oh,
to 49 laps.
who the heck was that? Brian LaPrette pounding that inside wall. As I was focusing there on Jonathan Stidham, he blew his left or his right front tire, and he has also got now a black flag for, I guess, speeding on pit road. So Jonathan Stidham's day just went from bad to worse, as he's going to have to sit down on pit road for an extra 40 seconds. So that's not what that driver wanted to see happen, as he is now taking over again. That penalty is taken care of at the moment.
Yeah, just a little update on what happened to Brian LaPrade. It looks like Alex Seth was trying to get around, possibly on the inside. Got to his left rear just a hair, and that's enough to send him down towards the inside wall. Luckily, he did hit the inside wall pretty flat with the left side of his car, so I don't think he's got any wheel damage that I can tell, but we'll have to find out whenever he pits.
Yeah. So Troy Thomas is still out front in that number 88 machine. He's doing a fantastic job at taking care of that race car. So we still got a handful of drivers that still need to start making their way down onto pit road. And, you know, we all know that, you know, the speed difference here between new tires and old tires is absolutely incredible. So I think as the race leader, you don't want to wait too much longer before you start making your way down pit road, as Brian LaPrette's now going to bring his machine down pit road.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that coin, if you got fresh tires, you don't want to push super hard, like really early in the run to try to get your lap back. You need to pick a time and kind of maintain it, just that way you can have the best long run that you can here.
Exactly. You know, and one of the biggest things, you know, about Phoenix, as you know, as you were saying, is, you know, you want to have consistency lap after lap after lap. You know, you don't want to always be trying to chase, you know, the fastest lap. As we have a couple drivers now coming down pit road. It was Stephen Luttrell, Timothy Eisberg making their way down pit road now. Stephen Luttrell, he's been having a pretty decent day so far. Not really losing too much time, you know, within the top 5. So he's having a really great day so far. David Davis also having a good day coming down pit road.
And you know, keeping a check on our leader, it seemed like Andrew Tess was starting to reel him in a little bit here, as maybe he's been doing a little bit better job at, you know, saving his tires, but it seems like it's about too little too late for him to actually do anything with the pressure or the tires he was able to save, as it's about time for everybody to be forced to come down pit lane.
Yeah. Yeah, so we know that these drivers can go just about maybe 7 more laps, but honestly, I don't know if I would want to wait that much longer to come down pit road, because all these drivers that have fresh tires now are going to be making up a lot of time on your race leaders between now and when they come down pit road. So that could absolutely just change the whole dynamic of this race. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this will happen. And one driver that really needs, a big break now is going to be that number 42 machine of Jonathan Stidham. And Timothy Eisburn just got word he got caught speeding on pit road. So he's going to be joining Jonathan Stidham there. Oh, yeah.
I
So,
don't believe he was speeding on pit road. I think he went through too many boxes on pit road. Or he did
oh,
not stay to the right side.
gotcha. So is that just a drive through?
I'm not 100% sure. That is a race control decision there. I'm not quite sure if it was a drive-through or a
Yeah.
hold.
Okay, yep. So that was just a drive through, yeah.
Still not going to be good for him. That's going to put him, I believe, possibly another lap down here. So it's going to
Yeah.
be even harder for him to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah. Definitely very unfortunate there for that driver. As we take a look here at Troy Thomas, he's going to bring his number 88 machine down, and he's going to turn over the race lead over to Andrew Teft in that number 98 machine.
And I believe Andrew Teft's going to be coming in next time by. Going to get a point for leading the lap here. Now we're going to see Kirby Wainscott stays out to try to get that extra point or not.
Yeah, so far we're looking at 5 drivers who have not come down pit road yet.
Here comes 2. It looks like Kirby Wainscott going to be following Andrew Teft into the pit road as well.
Yep. Yeah, so these drivers actually having a pretty good first stint here at Phoenix. So far, we've only had one caution here today. As your top 3 come down pit road, Kensley Smith in that number 15 machine. He's already made his pit stop, so he's going to circle around here, and he's looking to... Yeah, so Kensley Smith, he will overtake the race lead. So this whole entire dynamic of the race just changed on this one fuel run here. With with Kensley Smith taking over the race lead. And he's got a 6-second gap before you get to Curtis Ecker in that number 8 machine. So now it's going to be very interesting to see what Troy Thomas can do in that 88 machine on these 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else. And after this round of pit stops, Troy Thomas, who's currently led the most laps at the moment, he's now sitting back in that 5th spot, just now exiting turn number 2.
Yeah, but he is making up quite a bit of time so far.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so that's something that we are going to absolutely be watching. He's now sitting just about 11 seconds back. But yeah, so right now, Kensley Smith in that number 15 Monster Energy Chevrolet, he is out front, going to start pacing this field as we are working around to complete lap 70 of this event.
Yeah, and I believe Cody Benelli having some kind of issues with his hot rod, currently in the garage at the moment, getting them to look over things, see if he's able to return.
Yeah, definitely not what Cody Benelli needed here today. As you see, Stephen Luttrell working around Truth Hope for that 3rd spot. Stephen Luttrell had a really good pit stop. He was able to... Oh, who was that? That was Alex Teft in that number 43 machine. I don't see what happened
here. He just got loose coming out of 2 and almost got into the wall again, able to save it.
I am doing what I hate doing, but let's go back here real quick, take a look, see what happened here. Yeah, just try to get a little bit, and look at that quick hand movement. Good driving there by Alex Teff to keep it down on the inside. Now, that my next question now is, how much did that just ruin his tires?
Well, since they did the GTP tire update to the car, if you lock your brakes up, it actually takes quite a bit of tire life off of the car. Now, back before they did the tire update, you could lock them up and still be relatively fine, but depending on how far you skid, you can have anywhere between 5 to 10% tire gone after that. Luckily, we do not get flat spots on iRacing, because that would be even worse.
Yeah. Alright, so it's been relatively quiet here in chat.
Yeah, anyone in chat watching, who are you pulling for today, and who do you think is going to win this thing? The fields are relatively spread out right now as we just got through pit cycles.
Alright, let me take a quick look here. Thomas has been able to bring his distance down from 11 seconds down to just about 6.5 seconds at this moment. So he is definitely starting to slowly gain on your race leaders, as he is now to the back bumper of Curtis Ecker in that number 8 machine and Stephen Luttrell. So he's quickly looking to overtake these guys to get back into second, and then he can focus on reeling in your race leader of Kensley Smith. As you see, Troy Thomas now working on the inside of that 8 machine, and they're going to run side by side out of turn number 4. Thomas using up the entire track right there, going to complete the pass into turn number 1. Trevor Fetzig, he's back down on pit road in that number 711 machine. Alright, so this next time by, we are going to start lap 80 of 156 laps. So we have crossed over to the second part of this race already.
Yeah, once we get to about lap 90 to 95, the pits will be open to make it to the end here. But I'm expecting to see pits probably about lap 100 to 110. With the short pitting is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's definitely very possible there, as you see Troy Thomas overtaking Stephen Luttrell for that second spot. And now he can turn his focus on your race leader of Kensley Smith, who is only 4 seconds ahead of Troy Thomas in that number 88 machine. Troy Thomas, he's on an absolute tear this season. And let me tell you what, I think after what happened last season, coming home third in the championships and the trucks, I think it brought a new entire life into Troy Thomas. And he says, hey, you know what? I think I can actually run for a championship. And as of right now, he's doing one hell of a job in that 88 machine today.
We got Justin Bonner in the YouTube chat saying, let's go 777 of David Davis here.
All right. Let's come over here, take a look at that 777 of David Davis. He's currently sitting in that 7th spot, trying to hold off the hard-charging Truth Hoke in that number 55 machine. But as of right now, he's able to hold him off. David Davis doing a wonderful job here today. I mean, honestly, all these drivers, they are doing a great job here today. I mean, we had the first incident on lap one, turn one. You know, people got a little bit too hot on these cold tires, and it just caused stuff, for a big pile up. But ever since we went green flag, everybody's minded their P's and Q's, racing really, really hard, and they've been putting on a good show. As jumping up here, it looks like Curtis Ecker, he's trying to work around that 7-Eleven machine. But Fedzig, so Fedzig actually just came down pit road uh, a few laps ago. So he's actually going to start making some passes on other drivers.
And this race is going by relatively quick here. I mean, it's actually very mind-boggling here how fast this race is going.
Yeah, I mean, we're working 42 minutes since we dropped the green flag, and we're already more than halfway through this race already. So these guys are, like I said, they're putting down really great laps. They're keeping these cars nice and clean, and, all around, we're seeing some really good racing this today here.
Yeah, and it seems like Kinsley Smith might actually have a pretty good strategy with this shortstop here. If he's holding on to relatively good to that lead up there with the clean air, but now that Troy Thomas finally got around the lap cars and everyone else, he is starting to reel him in a little faster now. But I feel like Kinsley Smith's going to be coming down the pits before too much longer. So all this progress Troy Thomas has made up is probably not going to pay off in the long run here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting. But, I mean, right now, Kinsley Smith, he is holding on to a 3.1 to a 3.2 second lead over Troy Thomas. So, I think Thomas's tires... excuse me. So, I believe Troy Thomas's tires finally have possibly reached their point before they start to degrade. So that's definitely something that we're going to be watching here, as he's just flirting right around that 3-second mark. So Troy Thomas, I think he's probably finally stalled out here in that number 88 machine, and that means right now Kinsley Smith has the upper hand for this race.
Yeah, that probably just means Kinsley, whenever he came out of pits, wasn't running the fastest laps he possibly could and was able to actually save his tires for the long run here. As Troy Thomas had to pass quite a bit of people, which, I mean, it seems like it's paying off for him. I can see him trying to go around that 21 car.
Robert Morris, yeah.
Robert Morris. I mean, and someone else to be looking out for, Andrew Teff making up quite a bit of time to Troy Thomas as well. One lap newer tires than Troy. And it's starting to get his stuff up here in the picture for a top 3.
Yeah. Andrew Teff, he's really great at saving his tires, and he knows how to work the tire system. And right now, as you guys see, he's proven just that, as he's made his way up, to the 3rd spot, right behind Troy Thomas.
Oh, I'm watching Kinsley Smith. He's using every bit of that dog leg.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's ride on board with him for a lap here.
Yeah, we are getting some takers to pit road. It looks like Brian LaPratt going to be coming down this time. Ooh, you got to be careful as this car's coming out of pit. They got really close that time.
Yeah. So notice Kinsley, on entry, he goes way up against the outside wall. And then he brings it back down for a very, very late apex. And that's actually going to start, saving some tires right there, because he's not trying to take the shortest way around the entire corner. As you see him do it again right here, up here in turns 1 and 2, up against that outside wall, hit that late apex to get a good, decent run here out of turn number 2. And that holds so much momentum heading, into turn number 3. So, as of right now, Kensley Smith doing a really great job as you see that number 42 machine trying to get one of his laps back.
Jonathan Stidham, I believe, just coming out of the pits, as you seen Kinsley Smith cutting that bootleg earlier, got really close to him. That's going to throw Kinsley out of his groove there a little bit, as he did have to run a slightly different line that time, but I'm sure he's going to be able to get right back into the groove here.
Yep. So within the last 5 or 6 laps, Troy Thomas has gained half a second on your race leader. And along with Andrew Teft. So Andrew Teft and Troy Thomas, they're coming for your race leader as we are coming around to complete lap 96 of today's event. And so far, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute blast to watch these drivers. Let's see if we can... Let's fall back here to Kirby Wainscott, who's all over the back bumper of that number 8 machine of Curtis Ecker for 5th. But right now, none of these drivers... Oh, I think Kirby Wainscott kind of got up into the wall there on entry to turn 1. And right now, this here is your closest battle on track.
It looks like there's a battle between the 16 and 55 as well,
Yep.
as Lubers was able to get around Truth Hope for the 8th place spot.
Yep, I just saw that on my ticker as well. I'm going to jump back up here.
Well, there being about 59 to 58 laps left, the pit window is technically open. But a lot of these guys are probably going to try to stay out a little longer. That way they can push harder here on the final stint of this run.
Yeah, definitely. Going to be definitely very interesting to see how all this will go down. And just like that, a couple laps later, Troy Thomas and Andrew Teft, they have gained another half second on your race leader.
Yeah. So one thing about getting fresh tires, there gets the point where you kind of equalize, and then after that, you get, the people on the older tires are kind of fall on their face, as it's called.
So we know, all right, Dakota. So we know that Troy Thomas is fast, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he is now within 2 seconds of your race leader. Do you want to come down when the leader comes down, or are you going to stick to your stay out 10 laps longer than Kensley Smith? What would you do?
I think I would stay out longer, but I wouldn't stay out as long this time. Once Kinsley Smith comes in, I would take back over the race lead, probably run 2, maybe 3 laps, and then come down to pits myself. That way, the distance isn't as far for me to get caught up to him this time.
So, I'm going to flip it around now. Would you want to pit before Kensley Smith, knowing that Smith pitted before you and took over the race lead on the last round of pit stops? So instead, would you want to try to leapfrog that way?
No, because then that's going to put me. If I see Kinsley's on older tires here, so if I'm in the 88, right, and I pit, that's going to put Kinsley kind of at a little bit of an advantage because he's going to be able to come in and ride the next lap because he is on the older tires. And I feel like Troy Thomas is stuck in a cycle where he's going to have to go a few more laps in order to have better tires coming to the closing laps to have a better chance to get around Kinsley Smith here. but he doesn't need to stay out too long. So he's gonna have to find that little gray area of, I'd say, about 2 to 3 laps after Kinsley's pits here to come in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if I'm Kinsley Smith, I'm gonna try to pit before Troy Thomas can even get around me here. As he is, I mean, he's within a second. He's within striking distance now. He's under a second.
Yep.
All right. Looks like we had a couple passes last lap. Looks like Rowan Lloyd was able to get around Curtis Ecker. Truth Hogue, Brandon Puffenbarger also able to get around Curtis Ecker, who is currently in the pits now. Curtis will be trying to short stop here, potentially try to get his stuff up here towards the front at the end of this thing. As you can see, Troy Thomas is closing that gap on Kinsley Smith, and I imagine Kinsley Smith's going to be coming down the pits here very shortly. And the longer Kinsley Smith waits, the easier it will be for Troy Thomas to kind of match his pit time here. So it's going to be pretty interesting to keep an eye on this here. Andrew Teff's not too far behind, only about 1.7 seconds back, so he should be in the picture very shortly as well. The next closest driver is going to be Steven Luttrell, about 6 seconds back, so it's really going to be between these three drivers and who can get the best pit stop.
Yeah, so I step away to run out to refill my water real quick, and I come back and Kensley Smith, he's all over the back bumper. I'm sorry, Troy Thomas is all over the back bumper of Kensley Smith.
Yeah, now that Troy's on his back bumper, if Kinsley pits now, it'd be very possible for Troy to follow him right in.
Yeah.
But if Troy's able to get out and, extend his lead, it might not hurt for him to come in a little sooner than Kinsley. It's really going to depend on if he's able to get around Kinsley Smith here or not. I mean, only 9 drivers on the lead lap here at the moment. That's David Davis and that 777 machine already coming down to do his pit stop. Curtis Ecker already done his. I believe Timothy Osborne possibly doing his as well. Looks like Truth Token and the 55 machine coming down the pit.
It looked like he locked up coming down. So, something a couple of these drivers missed out last time was that speeding on pit road. So they got to be mindful of that. And they also got to make sure that they don't run through too many pit stalls as well. And here at Phoenix, that's probably one of the hardest things to do. As we come back out to our battle for the race lead. It is now Kensley Smith versus Troy Thomas. And looks like Kensley Smith, he's going to make his way. Oh, slow it down, Kensley.
It looks like Troy thought about coming in behind him there, but decided to stay out, possibly going to come in here very shortly, as you said, Kinsley Smith in. So it's going to give the lead over to Troy Thomas. Andrew Teff taking over second here. Steven Luttrell's still out on the track as well, very surprising.
Yeah, so far, Steven Luttrell in that number 36 machine, he's been doing a fantastic job as well. Staying up here as we saw Andrew Teff duck his way down onto pit road, so he's going to give up second. And Steven Luttrell, he's going to come down as well for his final pit stop of the day. As these...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
If I'm Troy Thomas, after I've seen Andrew Teff come down the pit road, I'm definitely diving in this time.
Yeah, as we're going to watch here and see what Troy Thomas does. Yep, he's going to duck it down onto pit road this time. Nice and easy. Whoa it up. Now this right here is absolutely going to be that money stop. Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 machine. He's going to take over the race lead. And he's going to lead a lap to get that bonus point. So far, everybody's doing a fantastic job not speeding on pit road. As we jump back here to Racer Elite driver for Chicken Coop of Kirby Wainscott. All right.
Kinsley Smith just getting past Troy Thomas as he comes off the pit road here. So Troy Thomas is going to have a little bit less distance to get caught up this time.
No, that's just that's incredible. Just like the difference, of just a couple of laps. Kensley Smith, he's coming out of turn 2 now, and Troy Thomas is coming out of turn 2 now. So Kensley, he's essentially got just about a full length or a full straightaway, on Troy Thomas. But right now, Troy Thomas, he's also got Curtis Ecker in that number 8 machine in front of him as well, who's had a good leap here in the run. So, so Troy Thomas, he did fall back to second. I'm sorry, to third. So now he has to try to work his way around Curtis Ecker in that 8 machine. So Troy Thomas has got some more work to do as they are back 4 seconds on your race leader.
Not to mention he's got a hungry Andrew Tiff behind him as well. He's just on just as fresh tires as he is, basically. So
Up and there they go around Curtis Ecker for that second and third spot. But now here comes Andrew Teft. He's looking on the inside of Troy Thomas. He's wants that second spot, not able to complete the pass or get alongside him that time. So right now he's going to just hang back right behind Troy Thomas as they will come into the dog leg. As they're going to work around their way around that number 7-11 of Trevor Fetzig. Four and a half seconds lead right now for Kensley Smith over Troy Thomas and Andrew Teft. And, if Kensley Smith knew that Troy Thomas and Andrew Teft are battling it out for that second spot right now, he would probably have the biggest grin right now, because he knows as those drivers start to battle it out for that second, he's going to be able to start to pull away from these two, and that's going to pretty much solidify his win here today. So, and just like that, he's already almost up to a 5-second lead here just in the last 2 laps. So, right now, Kensley Smith, he's probably watching that relative, in his car, and he knows that right now it is his race to lose at this point.
as we still have about 33 laps next time we cross the line left to go in this event. So these two back here are going to have to try to be friendly with each other so they can get caught up to Kensley Smith possible here.
Yeah, for sure. As we jump back here to the battle for that 7th spot between David Davis and Sam Lubers. I'm sorry, Truth Hoke and David Davis. I'm sorry. And it looks like Truth Hoke, he will overtake for that spot.
Andrew Test on the inside of Troy Thomas right now for second place. Able to get around him.
Yeah, Andrew Teff now starting to pull away a little bit here from Troy Thomas. So now it's making me wonder if Troy Thomas was using up some of his equipment there, trying to defend off Andrew Teft. Because now he's fallen back to about 5 seconds now from your race leader. Whereas Teft, he is slowly starting to gain on your race leader.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Troy picks up his pace here. He could just be potentially trying to save a little tire to push harder here at the end, but we'll have to keep checking that. Like I said, he's falling back pretty decent. He's already back to about a 5 second gap to Kinsley Smith, and Andrew Test's pulling away from him like he's got a parachute on the back of his car right now.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we have crossed over into our 30 laps to go here at Phoenix. Currently, your top five: Kenley Smith, Andrew Teff, Troy Thomas, Curtis Secker, and Stephen Luttrell. As we'll hold on your top five as we are continuing to quickly tick away time here at Phoenix. That gap has opened up between Andrew Teff and Troy Thomas. And Andrew Teft, he is marching his way closer and closer to your race leader. So he is now down to just about 4 seconds. So Teft, he's really going to have to turn up the heat if he wants to catch your race leader of Kensley Smith in that number 15 Monster Energy machine. All right, and uh, I believe Cody Benelli has loaded up his number 19 machine for the day.
Whatever they sent in the garage earlier, they must not have liked, so just tell them to load it up and save the car for another race here. Try to get some repairs done back at the shop.
Yeah, that's definitely not what these drivers like to hear. As we continue to have battles throughout this field, David Davis in that 777 machine, he is starting to have a lot of issues right now. He is continuing to fall back as Alex Teft in that number 43 machine, he's coming down pit road. Okay, so he's stayed out for a very long time there, actually.
Actually hoping for a caution there so you can see the lucky dog, and unfortunately one did not fly. So we've had a relatively clean race the entire time today.
Yeah. Trevor Fedsig in that 7-Eleven down pit road as well, as we have 25 laps to go.
Looks like Troy Thomas starting to cut up the heat here as he's all over the back bumper of Andrew Test again. So it looks like Andrew's going to be nice to let him around here. So that's going to allow for Troy to try to run down your leader, Kinsley Smith here.
Yeah, we got a good battle back here between Sam Lubers and Troy Thomas. I'm sorry, Truth Oak. Truth Oak, he is going to allow him to get around. And so now Sam, he's got his eyes set on Kirby Winscott, who's quite a bit ahead. But let's go ahead and come back here to Troy Thomas in that second spot, as these guys are dealing with some lap traffic in front of him. And now they've got Alex Teft in front of them, who's currently 1 lap down. 23 laps to go here, or 22 laps to go now here at Phoenix Raceway. And that margin to your race leader has gone from a 4.5 down to 3.5 seconds now in the last 2 laps. So Troy Thomas, he's turned up the heat. Let's take a look here at your last lap times. Yeah, so he's definitely cooking 0.3 seconds quicker so far every lap versus your race leader. Oh, he was more than a half second faster that last lap. So Troy Thomas, he's definitely reeling in your race leader.
We got to go get him, Troy, in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping by. He's trying his best. He led quite a bit of laps here early in this thing. Short pit, got Kinsley Smith up to the lead, but is Kinsley saving tire potentially, or is Troy Thomas just able to push this much harder?
Yeah, I have at this point I have not a clue because I am just watching that interval drop. So like Thomas, he is now down to just almost 2.8 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks like the fastest lap of the race, because I just wanted to check on that. It's going to go to Timothy Osborne at the moment, 26.38. I don't see anybody beating that being on old tires here, so.
Yeah, it looks like Troy Thomas has stalled out at 2.8 seconds. Yeah, so he's really got to try to figure something out to start to reel him in. And as I say that, he just dropped 0.3 seconds closer. As we catch up here with Kensley Smith, who is now taking over for leading the most laps here today at Phoenix with 68 laps.
You know, I think these drivers don't care if they lead the most laps. The only lap they want to lead is the last one. But I do like to keep up with the statistics because it does help the point.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a bonus point for leading the most laps. You get a bonus point for having the fastest lap. So, Kensley Smith, right now, he will get that extra point for leading the most.
We got
To
Matt Mettler in the chat saying he's here for race control. Sorry about that.
oh yeah,
Appreciate the super chat there, Matt.
yeah, definitely appreciate the super chats.
Yeah, with only about 15 laps left to go, Troy Thomas is going to have to pull some kind of hat trick out here to get caught up to Kansas Smith as the run he had has died down. He's actually starting to lose a little bit of time. As I say that, he gains about 0.2 into the 1 or 2.
Yeah. You know, and talk about race control. Want to send out a big thank you to Chantel Pottle, part of Speed or Race Control. She does a fantastic job every single day.
And then 1 minute, Troy Thomas is running the same lap as Kinsley Smith. The next minute, he's 0.3 faster. It's like he's running a hot lap, cooling off his tires. Running a hot lap, cooling off his tires. Might be a pretty bold strategy here.
Yeah. I mean, that right there, that's the separation between your race leaders as we have 13 laps to go. So, I mean,
Even if he does get called up to Kinsley Smith, it's going to be one thing to get called up to him. It's going to be another to get around him, especially
exactly.
Kinsley Smith knows how to manipulate that dirty air in his favor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one thing that Kensley Smith knows how to do for sure. You know, being out front, leading these races, this isn't anything new for Kensley. So, you know, Troy Thomas, he can get up to that back bumper all he wants. But, man, let me tell you what. Once Kensley Smith opens up that dirty air container that he's got in his race car, that's going to absolutely just change the whole entire game as Thomas has now broken down under 2 seconds. But I don't think he's going to have enough time to actually get to the back bumper of Kensley Smith to make a run for the race lead.
I think he can get to his back bumper. It's just going to be, is he going to have enough time to get around him here? Is he still closing in relatively decent? I mean, down to basically a second and a half here. Is he coming through 3 and 4 this time?
Yeah. I feel like Kensley might be a little bit better through turns 3 and 4 than what Troy Thomas is. But Troy Thomas, I think he's just a little bit better out of 1 and 2, and because I think that's where Troy Thomas really makes up a lot of his time.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
9 laps to go left here at Phoenix, so just about 8.5 miles left for your race leader of Kensley Smith. Yeah, I don't think Thomas is going to have enough time.
I have to ask him if his wife drove for him today. He's got a little bit of an ongoing joke telling him that he needs to get his wife in the car after the race, the women's race the other day.
Right. All right, I don't know. Maybe he's going to have enough time. That right there, that's now the separation between the two.
He might get lucky and get a little bit of draft to help pull him up there if he gets a little bit closer, but as you've been, it's going to be very close. I think he's going to be on his bumper with probably about 3 to go, but it's still going to be really hard to get around Kinsley because Kinsley could be saving tire for all we know. That could be why Troy Thomas is catching up to him. I mean, any number of things here.
Yeah.
But irregardless, absolute phenomenal job out of both of these drivers. 2 different strategies coming to work out here, and bringing each other, basically nose to tail right here in the closing laps.
Yeah. And as you see there, the leader ran a 990. Troy Thomas ran a 694. So Thomas, he's still a lot quicker than your race leader as we're coming around to get the 5 to go signal from our flagman. Oh. Excuse me.
Well, we've seen how he's done in clean air. Let's see how he does in some dirty air here, because he should be starting to get some of that draft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, notice Kensley Smith not going up the track like he normally has been. Troy Thomas rocketing out of that corner, had to get it lift so that he didn't hit the wall. Now Troy Thomas, he is really now starting to push as we have 4 laps to go here at Phoenix. 4 more miles to go. That time... go ahead.
This is what we mean by dirty air. To start making the car a little tight on the exit of these corners here. As you've seen the last time by coming through too, the 88 almost getting into the wall. But the Nitrous Cowboy having a hell of a run here. He's still inching in closer to Kinsley Smith, but Kinsley Smith gets such a good drive through 3 and 4. It's just kind of equalizing.
Yeah, as we take a look here, and he was just a little bit quicker that time than Kensley Smith, as they are now trying to work around that lap down car of, I believe that's Dodd in that number 87 machine.
Yeah, it's Eric Dodd in the 87.
And that's going to slow up Troy Thomas here for this lap. 2 laps to go here at Phoenix. Will Troy Thomas able to get to the back bumper of Kensley Smith? I don't think he's going to be able to, as he hits the wall coming out of turn 2. And now Troy Thomas trying everything to get to the back bumper, but he's probably going to run out of time. White flag is in the air for your race leader, Kensley Smith. Can he have 1 more or 2 more nice corners here? Troy Thomas right back to that back bumper, just within striking distance. No, he is not going to be able to get it. Charborough's North Carolina driver, Kensley Smith, comes out of turn number 4. He's going to take the race win, followed by Troy Thomas. Andrew Taft will bring it home 3rd. Stephen Luttrell will bring it home 4th. Kirby Wainscott's going to come out of turn number 4 and bring it home 5th to round out your top 5. 1 caution for the entire day. The pass for the lead happened down on pit road. So that means Kensley Smith, he will bring it down to the front straight away, and he's going to burn it down for us. Oh, come on now.
It does look like MC Osborne is going to have the fastest lap at the 26.38.
There we go. What an incredible run for Kensley Smith. What a absolute heartbreaking day for Troy Thomas coming home second. Andrew Teft coming home third as we get a backwards burnout.
That's a new one.
It's not the first time I've seen that.
Now we're getting backwards donut.
Yeah, he's trying to get a backwards donut going, but it's not going to get it with these rear wheel drive cars. Now, if it was a front wheel drive car, that might be a little different. All right. While he's down there having fun, let's go ahead and take a look here at our finishing results. Oh, this isn't giving me much info that I'm normally.
Matt Miller saying if I ever win one of these things, I got a celebration and everything before. Well, sir, you got to win first.
There we go. Alrighty. Your race winner today is going to be Kensley Smith for Driving Extreme Inc. in that number 15 Monster Energy machine. Troy Thomas will bring it home second for Misfits Racing in his number 88 machine. Andrew Teff for Chicken Coop will bring it home third. Fourth, you got Stephen Luttrell, followed by Kirby Wainscott. Sam Lubers, Curtis Ecker, Brandon Puffenbarger, David Davis, and Rowan Lloyd will round out your top 10. Excuse me, guys. Truth Hope, Timothy Eisburn, Alex Teft, Robert Morris, and Eric Dodd will bring it home to round out your top 15. And to round out the field, you got Trevor Fetzig, Brian LaPratt, Jonathan Stidham, James Foster, and Cody Bonelli.
Are you ready for some interviews?
Yeah, we'll be ready here in just a moment. Your hard charger for the day, though, is going to be Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 machine, coming up 8 spots. Most laps led was Kensley Smith. Your fastest lap was Kensley Smith. And your pole sitter was Troy Thomas. We did have one caution for a total of just about 3 laps. And these drivers did a fantastic job here today. Very excited and happy for these guys. Let me get rid of that right there. All right, let's go ahead and get some interviews done here today. Let's start off with your third place driver of Andrew Teft, driver of that number 98 machine. Andrew, this is Mike and Dakota up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Andrew, what a very wonderful race today. We only had one caution back on lap 1, and your pit stops is what ultimately determined your race winner here today. Talk us through your race, and what was it like trying to keep up with Troy Thomas in that 88 machine.
Yeah, pretty good run overall. Usually run pretty decent here. Kind of struggling a little bit, just getting the car load up in the on the entries and just burning off the right front a little bit. I think I probably just needed some more front brake in it or something. I know Troy said he made some adjustments there, so probably what the difference was. I just left mine alone. But um, first run, I kind of maintained with him. Second run, I didn't expect Kensley to be able to jump so far ahead by short pitting, and we weren't able to chase him back down fully. So didn't go as deep into the second run, and I guess I gave up some time on pit road too because Kensley came out a number of seconds ahead of us when we got back out, and the final run was probably the worst of all for me. I was just way too tight. I kind of raced Troy for a few laps, finally got around him for a second, and yeah, just started plowing and just kind of ran laps until the end there. But yeah, congrats to Kensley, and a lot of fun overall. Really, always a lot of fun to have these really long green flag runs and see how tire wear comes into play. Just makes it interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Friday night, we went flag to flag without a caution at Atlanta, and today we come to Phoenix, which is usually, I'm not gonna lie, it's usually a caution fest. And today we only have one caution, so you guys did a fantastic job out on track. Really good tight racing all around, and man, just what an incredible day for you to keep it up here in the podium positions. Uh, Dakota, do you have any questions for Andrew before we let him go today?
First off, congratulations on a P3 finish. Second off, I mean, you might have brought it home P3, but your teammate of Kinsley Smith was able to get the win today. So, what does that do for Chicken Coop Racing?
Uh, Kensley's not a chicken coop teammate per se, but he's a good friend. He hung out with us today. He's got his own team called Driving Extreme Incorporated.
Oh,
But yeah, he was in our he was in our voice chat hanging out today, so I could see why you'd think that. Yeah, he just really played the pit strategy perfectly. You could kind of short pit and the tires would just sort of balance out after a while. They get to a point where they're just so old and they kind of stop losing time, so you're unable to continue gaining on them at a certain point. And uh, yeah, I thought maybe having some fresher rubber might make more of a difference, but just how it goes.
fair enough. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out for helping you get it done today?
I want to thank my teammates. I want to thank you guys for helping out in the booth. Chantel and Race Control. I want to thank our servicemen and women, friends, family, team. And if you're interested in checking us out, head on over to racersleague.com. Got some single events coming up. Brand new fixed SRX series that's actually free. Starting on Mondays, there's a preseason race this Monday at 7:45, free to join. And then our first points race is on the 16th. That's tomorrow, actually, Monday. So if you're interested, head on over to racersleague.com. You can find a Discord invite there. Shoot me a message on Discord and we'll get you set up. And we've got a bunch of other stuff going on too. So check out the website, see if you find something you like, and message me and we'll get you set up.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely a lot of great things happening here at Racers Elite. Well, Andrew, congratulations on your third place finish, buddy, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, congrats to Troy too. That was a really good run for him today.
Yeah,
Kind of wish I didn't battle him for those last the start of that last run. Maybe he would have saved a few tenths if I didn't try to get by him there. Could have made a difference, but you never know how these things are going to play out. So just congrats to him. Thanks, guys.
absolutely. All right, we'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Driver of that number 98 machine, Andrew Teft. Let's go ahead and bring up Troy Thomas, driver of that number 88 machine. Troy, this is Mike and Dakota up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
I got you, bud.
Troy, don't be disappointed in the run you had today, because let me tell you what, this was probably one of the best performances I have seen out of that number 88 machine in a long time. Just what are your emotions today? And man, just tell me how wicked fast that number 88 was.
Oh, I know. I mean, I finished fifth first two races, so this is like a win in a way. But I hate this place with a passion. But for some reason, I tried something different and it just clicked. I mean, it was a good race. I'll take second any day of the week here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we were sitting there watching you closing in there on Kensley, and let's talk about that first pit stop where he short pitted, and he ended up getting just about a good I think it was like 8 or 9 second on you. Um, and at first, he wasn't even in the picture for the race win until after that first pit stop. Um, did you anticipate or expect that short pitting like that was going to give him that much of an advantage?
I, I didn't at first, and I seen he's running the fastest lap times after lap times. Oh, maybe I should have done that. But I said I'm sticking with my guns. I'm doing what I can do, and then it didn't pay off enough, but it was good enough. But Kinsley had a heck of a car, so good win to Kinsley.
Yeah, I think maybe if you had maybe an extra 10 laps or so, I think you would have been able to get around him. Um, but man, just you had an absolute rocket ship. I was super excited for you. I was rooting for you. And next week we're going to be heading over to Las Vegas. What's your experience over in Vegas, and are you going to be able to roll the dice for the win next week?
I hope so. I'm average there, so just we'll get to the track and give it our best again, and hopefully one more position better than this week.
Heck yeah. Dakota, do you have any questions for Troy Thomas?
Uh, First off, congratulations on your P2 finish. And I mean, did you have your wife driving today, or was it you, sir?
No, I should have started. My wife is nowhere in here today, so it was all me. I had a notebook behind her Saturday night writing. I jotted my notebook down, and it paid off today. So thank you,
Hey,
honey. I
there we
love you.
go, there we go. Man, I had to give you a little bit of hard time. Is there
Oh,
anyone
that's
you want to
fine.
thank or shout out?
Thank you guys for doing this on Sunday mornings. I mean, it's a great league to run in. Andrew for everything he does in Racer Elite. My teammate Truth for joining in and helping me tonight, and them other two slackers that didn't make it, Terry and Barry. They know where they can go. But no, just everybody watches. My wife for letting me do it, and you guys for putting it on. Great job. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's definitely our honor and privilege to do this for you guys. But congratulations again on your second place finish here at Phoenix, and we'll see you next week when we head over to Las Vegas.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 88 machine, uh, Troy Thomas. And let's go ahead and bring up the man of the hour, the race stealer, Kensley Smith, and driver of that number 15 Monster Energy Chevrolet. Kensley, this is Mike and Dakota up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
I do.
All right, you win stealer. Let me tell you what an incredible drive for you today. You short pitted on that first pit stop there, and man, that was all she wrote from there. Uh, Talk us through what the thought process was there for short pitting on that first pit stop, and did you anticipate to get such a big lead after that first stop?
I knew after the first stop I was gonna have a lead. I thought Curtis Ecker would have been a little bit closer to me because he pitted the lap before me. But we had like 63 laps fuel, 63, 65 laps fuel, and I decided. I mean, it was gonna be a two stop race anyways. Might as well just split it completely. So I pitted on lap 52, coming to 53. So um, I think that kind of gave me uh like 7, 8 seconds on Troy. So from there, it was just try to build the lead as much as I could before he pitted, and just try and keep the tires clean as much as possible and not wear them out too much. So I think that kind of helped me by trying to save my tires a little bit, so that when he caught me, I still had a little bit left to try and fight him with.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to ask. When Troy finally caught you there, especially on this last run here, um, I noticed that you were driving a whole different line into turns 1 and 2. Yeah, because you were up high, arcing down at the last second to get a good run down the back straightaway. But once Troy caught you, you kind of changed it up. How did that affect your laps there by having to now run further down, which you haven't really done all day?
Um, Really, I had to change the line just to try and get some air onto Troy and get him tight off the corners and stuff like that. So that was really my only my only chance to keep him behind me was to just try and get him tied out of the corners and stuff like that because he had a lot more tire than I did there at the end. I know for sure. I think my right rear was like 13% at the end of it. So, um, yeah, that was really my only thought process was just get some air on him, get him tight. Um, I think he hit the wall one time, so it kind of helped me a little bit, and then a
Yeah.
lap car kind of helped me too. So
So was that 13% before burnout or after burnout?
that was before burnout.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, after burnout, it was down to 2%. So,
Heck yeah. Man, just all around, man, what an incredible run for you today. And Dakota, do you got any questions for our race winner?
Congratulations on your win, and I mean, how do you feel going into Vegas next week?
Vegas is a pretty good track of mine. I think we just raced there, like beginning of the season in trucks, and I won there. So, next gen is a lot different, but still have the same kind of process of you can kind of be all out and turn 3 and 4 a little bit, and 1 and 2 you have to let up for. So, um, just try to apply what I did in trucks to Las Vegas.
Fair enough. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out for helping you get it down the night?
Of course, Andrew for putting all this on. Everything he does throughout the week, it doesn't go unnoticed by a lot of guys, and we love racing here, and it wouldn't be possible without him. So, thank you to Andrew. Of course, you guys in the booth. Pretty sure it's gonna be a fun one to rewatch, especially since I won it, and the family's gonna have fun watching it. So, thank you guys for being in the booth for us throughout the week, and of course, my family. They love watching it and love seeing me win. Just my daughter just loves seeing my car go by on the track and stuff. So, thank you to them.
Yeah.
Well, heck yeah, man. Well, we hope you enjoy yourself, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy your win here. And Mike, go ahead and
Yeah. Well, Kensley, again, congratulations, buddy, on your race win today. Absolutely, what a phenomenal way to take the win. And we look forward to seeing you next week when we head over to Las Vegas. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that will be your race winner driver. That number 15, Monster Energy Chevrolet, Kensley Smith. What a wonderful race here today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking a quick look here at our driver standings. Troy Thomas, he will stay in control of your point standings by 1 point over Kirby Wainscott. So Troy Thomas, he does have 123 points. Kirby Wainscott, 122 points. Alex Teft, he will fall back and with 116 points. But as of right now, everybody is still in contention for the championship at the end of this season. Uh, my final thoughts here, Dakota, just a lot smoother race than I anticipated. A lot good side by side racing, and a leapfrog during the pit stops is what secured the win here today. So just it brings so much momentum into Las Vegas next week, and man, I'm ready to get over to the Sin City and see what we can do.
yeah, I mean, I agree pretty much. Pretty good race strategy coming into play to help Kinsley get that win there. Troy Thomas, I'd say, probably had the fastest long run car today. Did a phenomenal job coming home P2, and then I mean, just everyone out throughout the field, pretty good job. No incidents. Had a couple of pit road speeding incidents that got a couple good cars trapped a lap down, but otherwise, I mean, phenomenal job.
Yeah, definitely just all around what an incredible race. Um, I'll let you guys take a look at your race results one last time before we head out today. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody here at Racers Elite, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in this Sunday morning and enjoying the first few hours of the day with us. Congratulations to Kensley Smith on his win here today at Phoenix. If you guys like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell to get all the notifications when we go live, which is every single day. So you never, ever will have not a day of racing here at Racers Elite. And if you guys want to join us, head over to racerselite.com and get an invite to our Discord. Get a hold of Andrew Teft, and we will get you set up in some series. We do have free races and paid races, which like here today, which is actually pretty decent. $20 for the whole season is not bad whatsoever. And let me tell you what, we have a good time here in Racers Elite. Really great racing. So again, you guys just head over to racerselite.com, check us out, join us up in Discord. Even if you want to join up as a fan and talk to your favorite drivers, you guys are more than welcome to do that as well. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth alongside me, my good friend, the Master of Chaos, Dakota LaRue. We want to thank you guys so much for joining. And always remember, no matter what you guys do in life, have fun doing it. And if it's not fun, ladies and gentlemen, well, you can turn around and you go make it fun. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys in Las Vegas. And have yourself a beautiful, beautiful time zones. Until next time.